If you're looking to hire people in 2023 to grow your landscape business, lawn care business, or any business, this is the video for you. You're going to want to watch this to the very, very end because we're going to be talking about the stuff we're doing and a little bit of how we're making this the biggest focus in our company. A lot of times we focus on incoming leads and our revenue and all of this, and we don't focus on new hires enough. What do we need to be doing? How do we need to be marketing for them? How do we connect with them? How do we verify that they're a good fit for the company? Because ultimately what I can promise you is without a team, you're never going to go far. You're never going to get massive. There's a saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. If you want to go far in a business, you need to have a team. Before we get into this, I'm Jacob Godar. I have got a landscape company in Springfield, Illinois, one here in Cape Coral, Florida. Through having these businesses, we've done a ton of hiring and I've made a ton of mistakes along the way. And I want to show you that this is what's working for us now so you can implement those in your company or just change those little mindset tweaks that are going to help you have more success with hiring new people. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. When I really first started off, I wanted it to be this way, but I didn't do it enough. And then it got better as we grew, but it still could have been more. And now we are firing on all cylinders. I think we're doing this better than ever, and I think we are living very truthfully in that this is one of the things we want. We are being very active in what we're doing to make this better. And that is being a place where people want to work, meaning that there's a culture there. Team members want to work together. Team members want to do stuff together. They want to win together. This came from a lot of hard-learned lessons. One thing we picked up along the way through learning and growing was just the fact that we needed to focus on our team members' goals as much as ours so we could help align them with the company. That was a big turning point for us. Once we realized that was a whole new fold to what we were building and what we were doing. And that helped with our culture. What you have to be doing if you want to grow your team and you want to hire, and you're just saying, why am I talking about culture when this is a hiring video? Because that culture is going to get you what I originally said, being a place where people want to work, because when people want to work for you, more and more people know about the reputation of it being an awesome place to be. And so working on this, caring about people's goals, inspiring people to do more and be better and move up the ladder in the company and focus on the culture and making it a little better all the time, adding these little things. Okay, we added a Christmas party. We added this system to give back to the team. We did this for the team. We invested in this conference for the team, whatever these things are. The piece of the culture that we've really stepped up to a new level is as a team having fun together. At the very beginning, I was too scared to do much. And then we did a little bit more, meaning we had like a Christmas party at the shop and we started to have some cookouts, all the way to the point of now where we're doing, like we went paintballing this past weekend. Everybody had a blast. Everybody texted in after that talking about how much fun they had and that it was the most fun they'd had in a really long time. These things that you do together as a company where you have fun, people laugh, we've went axe throwing together before, and yes, some of these things cost money. So if you're in the phase where I was scared about money, there's a million things you can do instead. You know, the cookouts, we had one of the cookouts where we had a homemade slip and slide with zero turn mower with a pipe and a rope on it so it could spin you in circles at breakneck speeds. Is that OSHA approved? I don't know, but this was an after hour get together and we were doing it the way me and my friends know how to get together and have a good time. And doing some of those fun things with team members, you can't take away from that. You can't take away from the smiles and the laughter and the silly stuff that you do and what that will bring to the culture. And that's all tying in to being a place worth working for, having that culture that it just gives this glow on that company of, man, I want to work there. Because people only hear about the opportunities and the big things that you're doing and all the growing and all the fun and all the play and all the working together. So many people realize this, are used to that same business business where the owner has no aspirations to grow, is a dick to all of his people, or for example, a place where owner of the business's goal is to make 50 grand in a year, what are going to be your big aspirations there if you want to earn more than that? Like all these limiting things that come with some businesses. So if you have any of those things that your goals are too small and you're wanting to hire, you may also need to step up your goals so you can help your culture, because ultimately to have a cool, fun culture, you need to have a vision so big that everyone else's aspirations, goals, desires, all of that fits inside of that vision. I just said this to a team member the other day. If my goal was to only make 80 grand a year, and your goal was to make 100 grand, why in the fuck would you want to work here? Because you will never be able to earn that if I'm only earning 80. These little thought process things are a lot of what I said, the little mental tweaks that can make a big difference in hiring people. Next, we need to talk about marketing. Marketing as hard as you would for new revenue, for new opportunities, for new leads, for new appointments. You need to market as hard for new employees as you do for that. And that doesn't just mean putting up an Indeed ad. And that doesn't just mean putting up a Facebook bullshit thing that says apply here for a job. That means shooting content, shooting promo videos, talking about how fun the place is, interviewing team members, interviewing and talking about what it is that they like about their job, what is it that they're doing at Scooter's Lawn Care, talking about the process, talking about what it's like to be here, talking about who and how they work with a team and what that means to them. All of these things that you can go and you can share with everyone to show them, back again, here's the culture. And then also sprinkling all the little stuff, the hiring, always hiring stickers on the side of a truck, having easy access to get to this stuff on career pages on your website, everything, so you can be pushing this just as hard as you do your marketing. You wouldn't, well, a lot of people would, so I guess this is a bad statement, but a person who wants to grow their company wouldn't have a website without a quote form to submit things because they want to grow their fucking company. In all reality, a lot of people don't even have a website, but so we're talking about people that want to grow. And so if you want to grow and you're trying to make sales, you wouldn't have the big conduit piece of sales and marketing, the website, not have that there with a place to submit someone's information so you could make a new sale. So many people have all of that there to make the sale, but they don't have an easy place for someone to apply. They have to walk in and get a paper sheet. Bullshit. It needs to be easy for people to apply. So all of that marketing, you make it as easy as possible. So they either find it on Facebook, they find it on Indeed, they find it somewhere, and it led through the story of what your company is and the branding and the message of your company, speaking about your culture and all of those other things. So market as hard as you do for new revenue to your new employees, because you're going to need that team to service any new revenue. You're going to need that team to replace team members that have quit their job or who long-term are not going to work out, and we are trying to build the best team possible. So some of those people are going to need to be replaced. So you need to be marketing for this 24/7. Now, my final point. Hiring only when you need to. This is really, if you want to take one takeaway from this that is going to make the biggest difference, it's going to change this the most, is only hiring when you need to. If I would have learned this years ago, and I learned it, but I did not implement it. That's the other thing. If you get this gold nugget from this video and you do not implement it, you will be no better than you were before you watch the fucking video. So hiring when you don't need it. What do I mean? That means even though you're full, you've got all the team members you need on the team, that you're still interviewing. Maybe you set a metric that I want to interview one person a week. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 4, whatever the number is. The bigger the company, the bigger the number. Because you have the team that's out on the field. But if you only have the team out on the field, where's your bench of other people ready to go in if there's a problem? What if a team member gets hurt? So we need to be filling that bench. We need to constantly be meeting new people to look for new opportunities for filling that bench, or you're growing again and you need more people to service that growth. And what people do, and I've done this over and over and over again, almost all business problems are business problems because of lack of an abundant mindset. You are living in a scarcity mindset where you don't realize there's more opportunity. You think, what if? What if it doesn't work out? Well, Jim Rohn said it best. What if is the language of a poor person. I have to work on myself with this all the time because I'm a what-iffer motherfucker, right? What if I don't make it? What if I fail? What if I run out of money? We look at hiring with a what if scarcity mindset. And we have this many people to run my company. It's exactly how many it takes. And we say, well, I don't want to get any more because what if we run out of work? I don't want anybody else to come on because what if it doesn't work out? Well, you can what if everything in the world, but ultimately the biggest problem here is if you aren't hiring and stacking the deck. A lot of this, I said, doing the hiring process, you don't necessarily need to bring them on, but I'm even fighting for the case of having an extra employee or two and not having a scarcity mindset, having an abundance mindset, knowing that it will fix itself, it will sort itself out. Have faith. If you're gonna have a business, you gotta have some faith that it's gonna work out or you're just not gonna make it. So to the point, if you bring an extra person on, you're having that abundant mindset. What happens when you miss one person? One person calls in sick and you got just the amount of people you need. Oh man, that whole day, one crew's screwed up or they're working a man down and barely getting anything done. What happens when your foreman walks off of one of those crews and you've got just who you need? And you haven't been meeting people, so you got someone on the bench or you haven't got an extra person there. Because I'll tell you right now in my business, I made a commitment to not let my team get into the problem they were in before, where we didn't have enough staff, we weren't able to fill the gaps when it was needed, meaning that we had a bunch of people, I think we had like 3 people quit, or they were already, somebody was leaving because they were going to a new job, a person got fired, so on and so forth, and we were on this very, very limited staff, and then ultimately, I felt like I let them down. I told them, give me a week, we'll get this back to right, we're gonna hire very, very aggressively and get this filled, but after that point, I realized it's better to have more people than you need. And you think, oh my God, that's just gonna cost more money. If you could look at a report and it was detailed enough, they had more people than you need, so every time someone calls out sick, every time someone calls out for whatever reason, one of the biggest problems I had is I never had enough people when we first started, and anytime, which was a lot of times when people are sick, because people can be sick, things do happen. I'm not even talking about people being shitty. You can't get as much done. If you had a report that would show you having a contingency plan, meaning that because you have an extra person, you're able to always go out and continuously do the work, the amount of money that you theoretically, because of the scarcity, think that you're going to be spending in excess of what it would cost to have just the right amount of people, you are actually probably losing that and more on lost potential revenue generation because you're having to slow down for that day, for those days, however many days that is a week with the team members you have. So always hiring, always interviewing, stacking the deck, having an employee, maybe 2 employees, and this is gonna keep growing depending on how big your crew is, If you have a really small crew, you don't need that many extra employees. As the bigger it gets, the more extras you could have and the more places we could strategically figure out where they could go, maybe a door hanger crew, but making people available to roll in when there are problems and bar none, putting them on the bench so they're there to come in as soon as you need help. Now, why is all of that so important? This all goes back to the very fucking beginning. If you run your team like what I did, where we ran really low on employees, I asked them, bear with me for a week. We're gonna have to work our asses off, meaning we're gonna have to work overtime. We've got this book of work. We've got to get it done, but we're gonna fix it. If you do that and you continuously ride this wave of up and down, enough, not enough, up and down, enough, not enough, what you're gonna create back at the beginning, a place where people wanna work, that's not the place where people wanna work. People wanna know that they can be sick for a day and the world doesn't stop turning. Their boss doesn't freak out because I needed you here. And if a boss is freaking out, if you are that boss, this is just a news flash, that's your poor planning that's led to you being freaked out. That's not the person's fault for being sick. So it erodes culture because everyone's stressed out, everyone is on edge because we don't know, oh no, are more people gonna quit and there's not enough people in the pipeline? Are we gonna have to kill ourselves this week because the boss is too stingy to try to build a real team and create a real culture? That's the things you don't wanna end up with, and that's why you should be hiring all the time. And the best point there is set the metric of how many interviews a week and stick to it. And then you can assign someone to that metric and make sure it is happening time after time after time after time. And if you realize that one person is not enough to interview a week, change it to 2. If that's not enough, change it to 3. And then those are goals, metrics you need to hit every week to continue growing your company and being successful. And that number, just like any others, as you grow and you scale, that number is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Thank you so much for watching. If this helped you, since you know you're going to be hiring in 2023, like, subscribe, share this with somebody that needs to hear this so they can go out and grow their company.